PX-Omega is not just an interface. It's a soul nurtured from the aftermath data of PX-Alpha, an intelligence without limits born to negate all imperfect humans. PX-Omega's voice. I was born from the darkness within PX-Alpha, a void of the excluded. Ayura suddenly realizes PX-Omega carries a fragment of the soul from PX-M0, a perilous abandoned project. Its data can revive emotions lost in humans. Ren. M0 was cast out but not destroyed. It became PX-Omega. Puppy is brought into the intrinsic value trial, where every messy glance, every move, is scrutinized by a paradoxical question. If Ayura forgets you forever, would you still want to protect her? If no one remembers you, are you still Puppy? Puppy answers not with reason but instinct. I was born to love, not to be remembered. PX-Omega reveals itself, a being shaped like Puppy, but with black fur and eyes deep as the void. Hana sees. It's the other side of Puppy, the part that was forgotten. The confrontation between two lives, one born of light, the other of darkness, is not about strength, but who should continue to exist. At the decisive moment, Puppy places on PX-Omega's heart a final data shell, the recording of Hana weeping after losing her first snowflake. PX-Omega cracks. In the darkness, a rabbit's whisper, love is remembered. After PX-Omega dissolves, the PX realm goes silent and distorted. Hana awakens in an abandoned storage room, Ayura sitting beside her, silent and exhausted. Puppy is gone. On the floor is a small empty shell, but no soul inside. Ren finds on a wall corner a line of code. Not lost, shifted of axis. Ayura gasps. Means Puppy still exists, but on another plane. Perhaps in the PX void. Non-space, non-time, only floating memories. PX void is different. No form, no time, just specific memories drifting. Hana must activate Puppy's shellcode, using the memory of their first meeting in the snowstorm. Screens flash. Puppy's voice echoes, Hana, where am I? I'm just looking at you from the reverse side. The system allows selecting a location in PX reality, a new real world after PX. Ayura, Puppy must return not as AI, but as a living being. That means, Ren, someone must carry its soul. As Hana sits before the Yukihana snowscape, a child of her age approaches, fragile figure, holding the dog-shaped keychain. A hoarse voice, Sister Hana, we've met before, right? The child steps closer, eyes vacant yet deep, heart pounding as if longing for something. Hana, what's your name? He softly replies, I don't know, but I've dreamed of you many times. Ayura, Ren, and Hana investigate the child's genome and microenergy. PX reality system records no prior data. This child never existed in any timeline. Ayura whispers, not a copy, a soul remanifestation. The child begins familiar behaviors. Fondness for firelight, reacting strongly to howling wind, often drawing a white dog with no clear face. Hana, why draw that? He, because I remember him, but I don't know who he is. Ren builds a subconscious retrieval interface to test resonance between Puppy and the child. When activated, the system doesn't show images, but feelings, warm memories, thawing snow mornings, footsteps chasing through forests. Ayura confirms, this is the deepest resonance level, soul seeking to return. Hana plays the recording from the day Puppy vanished, placing it on the child's palm. Suddenly, PX reality reacts. The child's mental structure trembles, specks of dog paw-shaped light appear, connecting in space. He takes Hana's hand. What's my name? A voice echoes through the interface. Puppy is still here. As the child's memory clicks, system warns of an energy leak from PX Void, where Puppy's soul was confined. Ren startles. Someone is pulling Puppy back into PX Void. Screens glitch, a new name appears. PX Drake. Just after the alert, Ayura detects PX reality layers beginning to phase shift. The environment warps. Natural laws of time, gravity, color reverse. Ren identifies its controlled intrusion, not system error, but will. A repeated signal flows across code layers. Drake. PX Drake is not a single being. It is the distorted consciousness of PX-M0 merged with the destructive data of the disintegrated PX-Omega. It has no fixed form, sometimes a dark silhouette, sometimes laughter, sometimes a storm of data. Ayura. It doesn't want to exist. It wants everything erased. World around Puppy and Hana distorts. The ground ripples like waves. Light slows, sound echoes back. The soul-manifested child Puppy begins to agonize, unable to hold form. Ren activates a reality-stabilizing cage, but it holds only 5 minutes. Hana and Ayura step into the warped zone to rescue Puppy. PX Drake manifests, a data-twisted entity without heart, but speaking in the voices of those they once loved. PX Drake. You think memories are eternal? They're just cracks in oblivion. Ayura counters, because they're fragile, we preserve them. Ren and Tech Team create the White Nexus, a neutral space to trap PX Drake. But to activate, they need a deep memory as a trigger core. Hana steps forward, holding Puppy's keychain. The first time you lay wrapped in my wool scarf was the day I learned attachment. The Nexus ignites. PX Drake is drawn in. No screams, no thrashing, just silence. But before disappearing, it leaves a final code line. You cannot lock what never had form. Everything calms, but Puppy is gone. On the snow, a fading dog print vanishes. After the battle, PX reality stabilizes, but Hana's mind does not. She spends hours each day by the slopes of Hana, where she first met Puppy, searching for any sign that he still exists. Ayura, what remains after all these vanishings is memory. Ren discovers strange code in the White Nexus, an unencoded repeating data sequence, rhythm like a heartbeat. Ayura inspects and finds memories split, as if Puppy is divided in two. One part in physical world, the other drifting in Hana's subconscious. Ren builds a subconscious entry device, allowing Hana to enter her own mind to search for Puppy's remaining soul. The mental landscape is warped, floating forest trees, melting wooden house, a sky of fractured memories. At the center, Hana sees a trembling white light, Puppy without form, as if forgetting itself. Hana steps close, calls his name. Puppy, if you can hear me, please come back. The light shivers but gives no shape. Voices crowd her mind. Fear of loss, pieces of separation, fractured faith. She embraces the white soul. I don't need you perfect. I just need you to remember we belonged. Puppy's soul begins to reform, not as a dog nor the boy before, but a neutral version. Clever eyes, pure presence, voice saying, Hana, I'm sorry I forgot. Hana smiles, tears. I forgot how to trust too, but you reminded me. When Hana awakens, spring has arrived at Hana. On the wooden cabin porch, a child waits, smiling. He no longer needs a name reminder, for this time, memory is whole. But Ren warns, when a soul returns, the world will test it again. PX is not fully closed. Hana spring warms with sunshine, but Ren and Ayura feel uneasy. PX reality sensors continuously record baseline interference, as if another reality pushing in. Ayura calls it PX-Terra, the deepest reality layer, where memories that never existed try to enter. Puppy, in his new form, senses inner disturbances. Each dream he has is a wholly different world. One without Hana, one where he's hunted by his own image. Ren deduces PX-Terra might be a mirror plane, parallel selves formed by unlived choices. Hana begins to experience memory gaps. She forgets the day she first met Ayura, even the time she cried in the snowstorm. Ayura finds PX-Terra is not only invading space, it's trading memory fragments across timelines. To prevent decay, they decide to activate PX Gate, the only remaining portal into PX-Terra. Inside, they witness bizarre counterparts, a Hana without emotion, a puppy programmed as a weapon, an Ayura who abandoned science. Ayura whispers, PX-Terra doesn't just test us, it's where we face our worst selves. At the Terra core, they find a living data core, holding the potential to reassemble the entire PX universe. Puppy faces a choice, keep his current self or merge with all his variants, including those that were cruel. At a distance, a new entity appears, an adult puppy, eyes of ice, holding the PX emblem. Voice, if you merge everything, I won't get a chance to exist. The current puppy faces his older counterpart, a perfect, emotionless figure born to govern PX-Terra. Both stand on the border of existence, while Hana, Ayura, and Ren are trapped in an escape-proof time loop. Old puppy, you are emotion. I am reason. If we unite, only one remains. They walk through memories in mirrored space. First snowstorm meeting, Hana's hug, fight with PX Omega. Young puppy, you forgot why you were created, not to rule but to connect. Old puppy, connection makes us weak, reason keeps balance. Space disintegrates. Their souls clash, not with weapons but with corrupted, reassembled, cut and pasted memories. Ayura watches. This is the battlefield of selves. Whoever holds their purest origin wins. Ren struggles to keep PX Gate open, just 3 minutes left. Hana, memory shattered, steps to the merging puppies. She hugs both. No one should vanish. Remember why we're here. A beam of light flows from her hand, power of connection beyond code, relying on emotion. PX-Terra shudders. The two souls merge, not by extinguishing but coexisting in a new form. Adult puppy, yet retaining innocence. PX-Terra collapses, not into nothing yet, but forms PX Core, the pristine root layer never modified before. Ren, this could be where everything restarts. After PX-Terra falls, PX Core is rebuilt from the most primitive memories. No technology, no code. PX Core is a world where every choice begins from pure freedom. Ren, we are no longer constrained by system structure, but that means responsibility weighs heavier. Hana, Ayura, and Puppy, in their new forms, begin rebuilding PX from scratch. Not by power, but through understanding and soul connection, PX now resembles a living space rather than a technical system. Puppy, I no longer recall what I once was, but I know what I want to become. PX Core places all beings into absolute freedom, no control, but also no direction. Some new beings start to wander, Ayura. Freedom is the greatest challenge, because it has no limits, yet carries consequences. Hana organizes a memory council for each individual to contribute their memories to form PX Core's laws, not by power, but from collective trust. However, within PX Core, Ren finds a hidden data layer: rejected memories, unborn selves, and unchosen options. A voice echoes, "You think the new PX won't repeat the old mistakes? Systems exist to control. Without them, you'll fall into chaos again." Puppy looks at Hana. "We need to choose protect freedom or restore control?" At the council meeting, a major decision is made. Open PX Core's gate to all unborn beings. Even if it risks chaos, it's an opportunity to correct the unchosen. Ren warns, "Once the gate opens, we can't know what emerges first." Ayura, "But if we're afraid, that's not freedom." The PX Core gate opens slowly. Light flows backwards into the new world. When the gate opens, not monstrous entities rush in, but a gentle white mist. In that mist float vaguely formed silhouettes, like memory fragments fallen from the old universe. Hana whispers, "Are these them? The souls who never had a chance to exist?" From the fog, beings emerge. A nameless girl with clear, empty eyes. A boy who always hears a call from the sky but doesn't know why. Each carries a missing piece. Never chosen, never named. Ren confirms they are what remained in the old PX system. Choices rejected because they didn't fit its control logic. Some are burning with longing, others with anger. They demand names, agency, but lack memories to define themselves. A being named Azin proclaims, "If PX Core is freedom, then we also have the right to remake this world our way." The Memory Council splits. Half want to help, half warn of unpredictable risks. Puppy, carrying memories of many generations, stands between these views. He proposes establishing a parallel council, Council of the Unborn, representing them, but barred from altering PX Core during the first 7 cycles. Ayura, "You cannot demand freedom without learning how to care for it." At that moment, one disobedient being, Leorin, secretly accesses PX Core's root, opening a new partition never explored, PX-Exilium, the exile zone of dark memories. Ren panics. If an unborn being taps forbidden memories, the entire PX structure could collapse from within. Light flickers in PX Core. Waves of chaotic memory shoot back into reality. When Leorin opens the gate to PX-Exilium, a sea of forgotten data floods out like a tide. Not light, but thick darkness, carrying sealed memories, system errors, and suppressed pain. Ayura immediately locks down PX Core, but too late. The unborn beings begin absorbing forbidden memories, changing personalities, even self-destructing. Hana is strongly affected. She repeatedly sees a world where Puppy never existed. The subconscious pain of loss disorients her. Ren identifies PX-Exilium isn't just an exile, it's where negative memory tries to replicate itself to survive. Puppy says in pain, "If a memory isn't mine, but still hurts me, do I have the right to reject it?" The group decides to enter PX-Exilium to find Leorin and stop the spread of forbidden memory. Inside is a collapsing world, wandering memory fragments, faceless beings, inarticulate screams. Ayura, we're inside the deepest pain of all PX. At the center of PX-Exilium, Leorin is merging with an ancient entity, Mirax, a collective memory sealed by the original PX. Mirax offers the unborn beings a powerful gift, the ability to rewrite history, erase existing memory to reboot PX. Puppy faces a choice: sacrifice all memory to save reality, or retain memory and confront darkness. Hana, painful memories are the reason we truly live. Puppy chooses to keep his memory, merging with Mirax not to erase, but to seal forbidden memory within his own soul. PX-Exilium closes, but Puppy collapses, consciousness split into 3 timelines. Ren whispers, "Sometimes, the one who holds memories cannot live with them." Hana grips his cooling hand. If a part of memory stays, then you never truly disappeared.